Today on GameSpot TV, witches, zombies, and vampires come out to play in our special horror edition. We step into the woods in the latest Blair Witch game, preview the upcoming Evil Dead title, and battle zombies in our history of the undead. Stick around, it's game time!
Hello and welcome to GameSpot TV here at the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Kate Patello. So, what makes the Winchester Mystery House so mysterious? Sarah Winchester, who was the widow to the Winchester rifle fortune, was terrified that she was under a curse by all the people who had been killed by Winchester rifles.
So, under the advice of a medium, she moved out west and was instructed to continually build upon her mansion.
160 rooms, and 38 years later, Sarah Winchester was finally at peace.
Now, that is a rather novel way of dealing with your personal demons. Of course, we prefer to do it the virtual way.
Fear resides in many places. It pervades the house on the abandoned lot. It lurks in the corridors of a darkened alley. What is this? It waits in the shadows of the woods. The Gothic castle. The high seas. Horror comes from unknown ghouls, demons, forces of evil, and sometimes from within. The unseen, the unknown. The darkness has sent tremors of terror through humanity since the dawn of time. What are we afraid of? Hideous monsters, the unknown, evil. It's not enough to see silver screen vampires or watch creatures created in an evil lab. Now virtual ghouls haunt 3D worlds, waiting to strike when we are most vulnerable. Vampires lurk, longing to sink their teeth into bared necks. Acidic aliens lie in wait to crush your skull and gorge on your flesh. Skeletal demons make up for their lack of muscle by wielding nasty weapons. And when all else fails to frighten, there's always the undead.
What are they? No!
In the interactive world of video games, you are able to face your biggest fears and annihilate them before they devour you. Or not. So do these virtual specters reinforce our horror, or do games allow us to face our fears and destroy them? Who cares? It's just fun to be scared.
When I was little, the monster that scared me the most was the tentacled beast that lived inside the plumbing, but I don't think they're going to make a game about that anytime soon. Make sure you come by the GameSpot TV website and let us know what spooks you by voting for the game that keeps you up at night. Resident Evil, Sanitarium, Alone in the Dark.
Coming up on GameSpot TV, we'll never go into the woods again, now that we have the review of the new Blair Witch game. Esther was deeply interested in the mystical world. After all, she consulted a medium before she moved out west and built the house. And to this day, psychics feel that there's a certain ghostly presence wandering around in the halls. Adam, I know you're back there.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm personally haunted by the $850 that I spent on the Blair Witch project. I guess one of the nice things about the movie is it had a pretty interesting backstory, and that's what made it into the new Blair Witch game, which is far, far scarier than the movie ever was. Blair Witch Volume 1, Rust in Par, is a mixture of both adventure and Resident Evil-style action. The game, by Terminal Reality, is a quasi-sequel to their title Nocturne, and has you play Elspeth Doc Holliday, who works for the Spook House agency from the original game, and features appearances from its hero, Stranger. Not surprisingly, the game also uses the Nocturne engine, which means its problems are very present. Like all games of this type, it uses a shifting third-person perspective, which makes combat frustrating and difficult. The designers have one suggestion, and that is, find a better camera angle. Finding a better design would have been nicer. Combat is further hampered by the inconsistent auto-aiming that can leave you shooting at the clouds in a tense battle. Luckily, the game isn't all about combat, and when the game is more about adventure and subtlety, the creepiness is very effective. One good example is an early scene where you hear and investigate a noise from your bathroom. It's gleefully tense by just suggesting something bad. Once you finally see the creatures, it feels like overkill.
A Daemite?
One of the true benefits of the Nocturne engine is its remarkable lighting and shadow rendering abilities. This game is driven by atmosphere, and there's little question that this is the game engine to do it with. Rust in Par is inconsistent, but fun. The scary parts and good puzzles make it possible to overcome the problematic combat. The game may not take that long to finish, but it's a pretty unsettling ride along the way. GameSpot gives it a 7.1 out of 10.
We're now in the room where Sarah Winchester used to hold seances. Now, at the time, it was a common practice for spiritualists to get together and wait for the spirit world to communicate with them via a series of knocking sounds. Yeah, spirit world, I'll be right there. Now, let's move from the world of the spirits to the world of the undead, to a game based on the very popular Japanese novel and anime, Vampire Hunter D.
Okay, I'm locked in here.
Yeah, I'll be right there. Vampire Hunter D is an action-adventure game based on the anime by Hideyuki Kikuchi. You are a vampire hunter named D, the offspring of human and vampire hired to rescue a kidnapped girl. The game is similar to Resident Evil, especially in gameplay and control, with the addition of a few extra moves. The main character can jump, guard, and strafe, which would seem like an advantage, but is it? The control in this game is almost out of control. Take jumping, for instance. It's hard to judge distances on a flat graphic, so aiming your jump is a trial. You'll also want to jump to attack flying enemies, but may end up doing a backflip instead. Being faced with multiple enemies is difficult as well. There's no auto-target function in Vampire Hunter D. In many instances, the best move you can pull off is a 180.
How dare you hunt us for the humans? Shame on you!
The graphics are nothing to backflip over either. The bulk of detail goes to D himself, leaving everyone else looking blocky. D draws his sword with a satisfying flourish, but that's about it. There's nothing satisfying about the music either. The generic techno score is totally uninspiring. Overall, much like most other Resident Evil clones, the game just doesn't capture the magic of the Resident Evil series. Die-hard fans of the anime may find some value here, but for 10 hours worth of gameplay, it's more of a rental than a purchase. GameSpot.com gives Vampire Hunter D a 5.5 out of 10.
So how about them vampires, huh? Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. Good, spooky RPG, but it did have some gameplay problems. But you know what? Nothing fixes gameplay problems like a good old-fashioned cheat. Playing Vampire the Masquerade Redemption and feeling like a fledgling? Here's some cheats to take you from neonate to elder before the sun comes up.
First, you have to play the game in console mode. In your Windows Run menu, type the path and executable for Vampire and add the line console after the quotation marks. After you've launched the game, type a tilde to access the console. To play in Infallible Vampire God mode, type God 1. For more experience points, type XP and the number of points you want. Need some cash? Type cash and the amount of cash you want. To learn the whole spellbook, type Add All Disciplines. For full health, type Revive.
I am awakened.
And if you can't take it anymore, kill yourself off by typing Kill Me. Coming up on GameSpot TV, there's more terror in the woods in our preview of the Evil Dead game. Welcome back to GameSpot TV at Winchester Mystery House.
Now, one of my personal favorite cult horror movies is unquestionably Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead.
And of course, like all things good, it's been made into a game.
We're incorporating elements of the first two movies into a new storyline that sort of continues the ongoing saga of Ash and the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. The game story takes place about 8 years after the events of the last movie, and in this new story, he actually goes back to the cabin that's, you know, the familiar location from Evil Dead 1 and 2, and the game basically starts there. It's a survival horror game very similar to Resident Evil, where you have a combination of action, puzzle solving, and exploration, all within the confines of the Evil Dead universe. It is a little bit more true to Evil Dead 1 and 2 in that it's first and foremost a scary game, you know, with the pop-up scares and whatnot, but it will incorporate a lot of the humorous elements that really came from Bruce Campbell and the one-liners and the whole character of Ash being such a smart-ass, basically.
What's that? Oh, your mama's calling.
The first half of the game takes place in the woods. It starts off at the cabin, which will provide a familiar environment to all the fans, but that's just a starting point. While you can go through all the different rooms in the cabin, and we've really, you know, been faithful to the movie. It's a, you know, accurate representation of what it looked like. We've added new locations within the woods, but really it's only about half the game. The second half of the game takes place in ancient Damascus, so it's really, you know, these two halves. I know Evil Dead fans are very protective of Ash and everything from the films, and that's why we're really trying to remain true to it all, because that's what fans would want, that's what we obviously want.
If you've seen the Evil Dead movies, you know they're really funny. Disgusting, but really funny. Now, of course, the living dead is a classic fear. Here's another one for you. The monster rustling in the bushes. How about a really, really big monster?
The dinosaurs are back, and this time it's personal. It's Dino Crisis 2, and the government has once again ruptured time with evil experiments. A cleanup crew of operatives arrives to save the day, but only 3 survive. Your roles alternate between the surviving operatives, Regina and Dylan, dino hunters, and David, a support character.
Yeah!
Each has unique abilities, and they'll need them. This is one serious dino crisis. There are many types of dinosaurs on the island, and sometimes they run in packs. Capcom has devised a completely new combat system for Dino Crisis 2. It's fast and simple with an urgent pace. You win points for each dinosaur you kill, earning a combo bonus for neutralizing more than one in a short period of time. That's much easier when you can run and shoot at the same time. And the new battle system lets you do just that. Presuming you've lived long enough to hit the select button, you can access the inventory screen to manage items, read files, or hit the first aid kit for a hemostat. The fear in Dino Crisis 2 is made palpable by excellent graphics and sound. The pre-rendered emerald jungles are lush and rife with danger. Velociraptors burst from the shadows, allosaurs shake the ground beneath them, and the effects are genuinely scary. Dino Crisis 2 avoids the stereotypes of the survival horror genre and delivers a novel take on the third-person action shooter. GameSpot.com gives Dino Crisis 2 a 9.2 out of 10.
If
you were a fan of the original Dino Crisis, don't be put off by all the changes in the sequel. It is a whole lot of fun to play, even if it isn't sticking to its survival horror roots. Now, another game that many people know is a whole lot of fun to play is Diablo 2. But one thing that gets overlooked are the incredible CG sequences in the game. So here's a look at the intro, because it's pretty creepy.
Coming up on GameSpot TV, just when you think it's over, they rise again from the dead. The zombies just keep coming. We find out why.
Welcome back to GameSpot TV at the Winchester Mystery House.
Right now, we're in the Winchester Ballroom, which was built specifically for a visiting orchestra that never actually arrived.
In human form.
Now, Sarah Winchester, of course, had all of these mystical leanings that have incorporated themselves all over the house. She was clearly not a triskaidekaphobic.
In human form.
There are 13 gas lamps in the chandelier, 13 panels in the ceiling, 13 stairs leading to the 13th bathroom. What are you going to say in human form now?
No, I'm going to talk about Resident Evil, which is, of course, not the first horror game, nor will it be the last, but one of the most celebrated. And so this is a small valentine to those games that kept me up at night.
In human form.
Ah, the living dead. What really can be said about them that hasn't been said already? They've been with us in many forms, but unquestionably one of the most popular and seemingly enduring treatments has been in the Resident Evil series. So what has made these games work and become so revered in the halls of gaming? Well, the simple answer is that they're fun and really, really scary. But how has it worked time and again? First off, there's the story. From the first incarnation, the Resident Evil games had developed a virtual mythos around the shadowy Umbrella Corporation and its unpleasant T-virus, as we follow the travails of its host of characters. Like any good story, the tale evolves from game to game, resolving a little each time, but always creating more questions than it answers. And there's something just plain unsettling when humans seem to number fewer and fewer. But good stories are best in their natural states, books. What's important is how it's designed as a game. While many might see the primarily pre-rendered background and awkward third-person perspectives in the Resident Evil games as a limitation, just think of how you never really know what's going to be beyond the frame of each shot. Then there's the gameplay. Rather than just be a straightforward action shooter, the pacing is more dramatic and rhythmically broken up by acquiring information and solving several puzzles, albeit many ridiculous ones. This way, when things get hairy, it's not always expected, and hence, rather frightening. But perhaps the most celebrated aspect of the Resident Evil games has been their sound. Nothing conveys dread more than hearing the virally inebriated rumble of a zombie before you see it, and not knowing where it's coming from. The quiet footsteps you emanate down dark and empty hallways succeed in making you all too aware of just how alone you are.
Captain Wesker,
but with our attention paid towards audio issues, there's also the now beloved voice acting.
Don't open that door!
It's so gloriously obvious and ridiculously atrocious.
Hey, I'm no ordinary civvy. I'm a member of STARS.
Maybe it would be nice to have true feelings expressed from these characters.
It was dirty work, but this area is now clean.
But after this long, it might take away from the campy fun of it all.
Chris is our old partner, you know.
And that's what the Resident Evil series is all about. The campy joy of all those horror movies we know and love, and the chance to be part of them and get scared all over again.
Well, now that we've had a look at Resident Evil games, let's take a look at a game that's Resident Evil-esque. Parasite Eve 2. Very scary, mutant mitochondria on the loose. Believe us, you're going to want some help, so here's our strat guide. I'm not scared. Keep trying.
There's nothing like unloading rounds into mutated neo-mitochondriatic scum. The freaks of Parasite Eve 2 might have strength in numbers, but you have mad skills a heavy-duty arsenal, and most importantly, GameSpot TV on your side. Use these tips to get you and Aya through the missions while keeping your stomach intact. Tip 1. Don't stop looking. You'd be surprised what you can find in the game if you just keep pressing X, which is your inspect button. Don't hesitate to search everything. From store shelves to recently deceased SWAT team members, who knows what you might come across with a simple press of the X. If a part of a room looks like it might contain an item, it most likely will. A keen eye is a must, especially when it comes to solving the game's puzzles. Tip 2. Remember your parasite energy. PE helps in conserving your ammo, and at least you won't have to deal with reloading your gun. You should also make use of the PE's area of effect. Narrow areas are good for taking out distance opponents, while concentrated areas are great in toasting tightly knit groups. Using your powers could mean the difference between staying alive and pushing up daisies. Tip 3. Kill everything. The only way you can unlock new parasite energies is by spending bounty points, and the only way to earn bounty points is by engaging the enemy. While you might want to get through your objectives as quickly as possible, you'll be doing yourself a favor by passing through infested areas and spring cleaning. Always check your map periodically. Any area colored in red means that enemies in that area are waiting to eat lead. So remember, keep looking, be a black magic woman, and kill everything, if you can.
For another look at our Parasite Eve 2 strategy guide, head on over to the GameSpot TV website.
And while you're there, don't forget we're giving away 14 PlayStation 2s. The prizes are provided by Blockbuster.com.
So if you want to be the coolest kid on your block, head on over to the site and take our next generation gaming quiz for your chance to win.
We'd like to give a great big thanks to everyone here at Winchester Mystery House for hosting us today. And if you want to find out more about this incredible place, go to WinchesterMysteryHouse.com.
Well, that's about it for this edition of GameSpot TV.
Yes, it is.
Until next time. Game over. Man, stop.